you're on.
First of all, to Gladys, the kids, Aisha, Ungai, and Tasha, their progeny, and to the extended family and friends, my sincerest condolences. Boisterous, irascible, cantankerous. Look those words up in any dictionary, and you'll see a picture of Lloyd G. Washington right next to it. I met Lloyd around 1972, 40 years ago. I was a street racer who had just discovered Mitchell Field and Floyd Bennett Field, places we held gymkhanas and autocrossings. The people I remembered from that time were Anton, a little fat black guy that owned a convertible Corvette, and this other guy who owned a Datsun Roadster. Somewhere between then and 1973, he and his family moved to Queens. His wife, this skinny chick who is indelibly etched in my mind from those days, wearing bell-bottoms. She let him do awful things to her house and yard, like build engines and repair cars. But then I realized over the years, this is Lloyd G. Whether it's becoming the Datsun Nissan guru, a certified firearm expert, or a saltwater aquarium keeper of the first degree, he was, as the kids say today, he owned it. He was the first to encourage me to stop street racing and invited me to Bridgehampton, where I saw real race cars on a real circuit. He was the first to articulate to me that I was the luckiest person he knew. And that's a story unto itself. That all came about on a return from a race trip to Road Atlanta. I was driving, we were going through Washington, D.C., and I got pulled over for speeding, only to find out that my driver's license had been revoked. Naturally, the trooper booked me. Lloyd left, and he made sure that he called my wife when he got back to New York and let her know that I needed to be bailed out. In any case, he came back for the trial. I'm sweating bullets because I don't know how I'm going to end up getting out of this without some jail time or a hefty fine. But we went into court. It's just one of those things. The lawyer who had the miscreant ahead of me cross-examined the trooper, and he said to the trooper, "Can you identify the defendant?" And the trooper said no. The judge looked at him and he said, "Can you identify the person who you wrote this ticket for?" And the trooper said, "No, I can't." So the judge said, "Can you identify any of the people that you wrote tickets for?" The trooper said no. The judge turned to the lawyer and told him, "Case dismissed." Then he looks at his docket. He sees I'm the last person there, the only person left. He looks at me, he calls me up and he says, "Your case is dismissed too." Needless to say, Lloyd is flabbergasted. Me? I'm totally in oblivion. I have no clue what's been going on. I just know all of a sudden everybody is telling me, "You can go." Well, we left D.C. and on the drive back, Lloyd's driving, not me, because I don't have a license. He turns to me and I'll never forget. He says, "You are the luckiest man I have ever known." And like anything else Lloyd proclaimed, he was right. I am. We were teammates at Dominic Salerno's Precision Motors Renault Cup team in the early to mid-'80s. It was a truly multinational team representing Italy, the USA, Jamaica, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, and Guyana. It's where I discovered there were only two things I could do better than Lloyd. One was drive a race car, the other was marksmanship. But then I had an advantage over him. I'd been in a war. If I had to find a solution to a problem and I wasn't comfortable with the process, I could always call Lloyd G and get a pragmatic, balanced, fresh take on the subject. It didn't make a difference what the subject matter was. But like anything else, there was an exception to the rule. We never really discussed personal views on politics or religion, as I think we both knew where the other stood on the subject and respected that. The words total immersion keep coming to mind. Lloyd, whether it was pool maintenance, building a house, learning the politics of gun laws in Florida or the nation, or the intricacies of marine life, he could explain it in the simplest of terms to impart understanding on the neophyte. I discovered that back in the 70s. I was a rotary engine buff, knew everything about rotaries, could work on them. I was also a certified jet engine mechanic. But I could not get my head around the details of tuning and building or timing a piston engine. Lloyd brought instant clarity to the subject, and this is after gurus like Joe Stimola and other people who built engines as a profession couldn't make me understand. Last but not least, subtle. That's a word in the dictionary where you will not see Lloyd G's photograph. He didn't suffer fools. He didn't suffer fools lightly, unless he felt or perceived the possibility of enlightening or educating said person. I valued his honesty, but most of all his friendship. I'll miss him, but so will you all. Now, I'd like to thank my videographer, Basil Wallace, who all Jamaicans know as Screwface, and my other director, my cousin C.C. Pounder. My hand was shaking. I don't know if you saw it.
Didn't have a drink of Bubacai, yeah.
I should have. Thanks, everybody.
Right.